Hi, welcome to the vlog. Right, in today's vlog, as you can see, we're live from the caravan.
It's alright. It's caravan vlog.
This is quality caravan vlogging. I'm not sure why the last few vlogs I've actually done in my office, my studio, should I say, because I've obviously had the caravans for quite a while now, but I've continued to do them indoors. And this evening I thought, what I'll do a special edition from the caravan. What's on my mind today? Many years ago, a friend of mine was a keen photographer, and he wanted to start... Strange. He wanted to start doing videos. So he was looking for a video camera, constantly looking for a video camera, but he'd never get to the point where he'd actually buy one. Now, the reason he didn't buy one is because he had the fear that in a couple of months' time there'd be a better, cheaper video camera coming out onto the market, and he'd have buyer's regret and he'd hate himself for his entire life. And now he never ever bought a video camera. So here's me, many moons later. I buy a caravan. I bought a caravan in November 2020. We ordered the model of caravan I'm sitting in now. It arrived in March, and as you'll know if you're an avid watcher, in April we wrote the caravan off. In June we got a new one, exactly the same model, exactly the same setup, specification, all the same. We're very happy with it. Now, Swift, we need to talk. 3 months later you renounce the new Challenger. Have I made a mistake? Have I bought too early? Should I have waited? We could have waited for the... When we wrote the caravan off, we could have waited for the 22 model. Have I got buyer's regret? We spent quite a bit of time looking. Now, originally, we wanted the Conqueror, but they stopped making the Conqueror in 2018, I believe. It was kind of the spec we wanted. It wasn't quite the Elegance, but it was better than the Challenger. So in 2018, Swift got rid of the Conqueror, and they went through a couple of years of improving the Challenger. So the Challenger got a couple of extra bits. Like just the year we bought it, it included what Swift called the Luxe Pack, which was, I think, door blind, you know, a fly screen. Like who wouldn't have a fly screen on it? Outside barbecue point, outside power socket, and a few other bits. Added it all in. Still didn't come with ATC, so we had to pay for that extra. But it's a perfect caravan for us, we think. Now, what have they done now? Swift. What were they thinking? For those of you that don't know, I did an article on the website last week, actually, doing preparation for this video. It's kind of it's easier to write a blog post, then it's all in my mind. I know what I'm going to talk about. So if you want to read there, I'll put a link to at the end to that blog post. But basically, it's kind of describing what Swift have done with their range for 2022. Now, what they've done, they've brought back the Conqueror. Hurrah! And they've done some really weird things. They haven't got a twin axle Conqueror, which is what we would have bought. Some notes here somewhere, professional as ever. So basically what I've done, I've printed off the website, the web document, the blog that I did. So it's all the notes I need for this video, and I'll probably edit this bit out, of course. Yeah, so I said, so we would have got a Conqueror, but it just wasn't new enough for us. It didn't have a few bits that we wanted. Now, a couple of years later, the Challenger 2021 had everything we wanted. Had the command, obviously outer heating, and a few other bits that we liked. We liked the lighting. You can, through the command, you can dim the lights and stuff like that. I've got them on full 100% here, but we normally have it on about 5% in the evening. See, with the Bailey, it was like this, or off. We couldn't, anyway. Yeah, I will take you through the Conqueror models. Excuse my rustling. I'll put them on the screen here. So, looking at my notes here, what's the first one? So, the first one is the Conqueror 480. So like I say, they don't do a twin axle Conqueror. I have no idea why. Swift know their business better than I do, obviously. So the 480, there we go, picture there. It is 6.59 meters long, 29,395. I mean, that's the entry level Conqueror. So they've brought the Conqueror in between the Challenger and the Elegance. So next is a 560. 7.54 meters long up there. This is the island bed, so this is probably the one we would have looked at, although really we really made our mind up to have a twin axle, and that's a completely different conversation, but that we had it in our mind to get one. That's 32,495. Now That's not a twin axle. Now the Challenger I'm sitting here now retailed when we bought it for 27,140. So that's 28, 29, 30, 31, 30, just £5,000 more, and it's not twin axle. There's the 565, which I put there. A really weird bed layout there. So it's got two single beds at the back, but they're kind of offset, as you can see there. That's a bit odd, I think. It might be okay if you look at it, but looking at the layout, it's a bit weird, don't you think? And then lastly, the 580, which again is 7.54 meters long, and it's a transverse bed. Now, you'll have heard me say about transverse beds before. Now, if you've got a transverse bed and you like it, absolutely fine. I'm not slating the transverse bed, but for us, for it to work for us, it would need to be an 8 foot wide, because it's getting round the end of the bed. You know, a man of a certain age needs to get up during the night. So it has Swift Command tracker, onboard water tank, which is a new addition. I think maybe the Elegance had it, but the Challenger definitely didn't. Quality jockey wheel, whatever that is. I don't think they put a cart on there, but better than the trike wheel you normally get, I guess. Alco jacking points, which is good. Heavy duty corner steadies. True mains waterline, pillar lights, I think it's the lights sort of over there, an Alco wheel lock. So you get those. Now, looking at those specs, they've aimed the Conqueror squarely, I think, at the Unicorn. So in competition with the Unicorn. So the twin axle Unicorn we had an internal tank. Now, I only ever used it once, and the only time I used it was basically to do a vlog on how to use it. So what have they done with the Challenger, I hear you scream. Now, what they've done to the Challenger, in my opinion, is an absolute sin. So they bought it. So in 2021, they restyled it. So if you looked at the pictures of the 2022 version, you'd think it looked exactly like this. And indeed, it almost is. But what they've done, now I couldn't believe this. I heard somebody say this. So I had to double check with Swift. They've taken out Swift Command. Now, I'd moan about Swift Command because there's some things I don't like about it, but overall it is good, and it's one of the things that made me buy the Swift as opposed to a Bailey. You know, it's a small thing. Maybe you might be watching here if that's a small thing, but it's such a good system, generally speaking. It allows you to do a lot of stuff from one panel. It looks like a bit like a iPhone. You know, it's a nice looking thing. So they've done away with that and put in what they call a simplified control panel. Now, what they've done, I know what they've done. What they've done is they've gone down to their storage cellar and they've found a load of 2011 control panels, because they bought 1.7 billion of them and obviously didn't sell as many caravans as they expected. So what they're now doing, they're recycling all the old crap that look, if you've got one of these, you know, I am joking. But however, it's a major downgrade in my opinion, because if you lose the Swift Command, you lose the tracker as well, as far as I can see. However, they have added USB charging points on these lights up here, which is good. I mean, again, we haven't got those. And do you miss them? Maybe I mean, I could upgrade those for like 30 quid. So they've added those on the Challenger. Whoopee. Thanks. So yeah, so as I said, last year when we bought this, the retail price was 27,140. The retail price now is 28,995, which I think is about an 1,800. Well, in fact, I know £1,855 price increase. But in my opinion, they're giving you less. So I'll put a picture of that control panel up there so you can have a look, and I'll put a picture of Command and that there up there so you can see the simplified control panel. Now, it probably works very well, but you can't get around the fact that it's actually a downgrade. Now, lots of reasons for this. I've heard lots of reasons. One, it was troublesome, but they've still got it in the Elegance and the Conqueror, so it couldn't have been that much trouble. There's this world shortage of microchips, like computer chips, whatever you want to call them. It just stinks of me like a money-making thing, and I don't like it myself. If you're buying a Swift now and you've never had Command, it's really not a problem. So in coming years, people won't moan about it, but for me it is a downgrade, and they've increased the price, as I said. So I want to quickly say here, I'm not a Swift fanboy, I'm not a Bailey fanboy, I don't have allegiance to any manufacturer. The thing I base buying a caravan on is the layout and whatever budget you're on. They're the two most important things. Manufacturers are not important. You buy whatever from whatever manufacturer you like. Audi, anything. Audi, Adria, obviously all pretty much the same quality, I think. So Swift House have still got the Elegance as a range. Now what they've done last year, they had the Elegance and the Elegance Grande, which were the Grande was the 8-foot wide one. Now, the Elegance are all 8-foot wide. So really, I suppose you could say that what they've done is really they've renamed the Elegance the Conqueror. I don't know. I can't think of why they've done it. Why reintroduce a Conqueror? I guess to make more, because the Challenger was getting nearer and nearer to the Elegance. They've sort of snuck this in between, made the Challenger a bit worse, and made the Elegance a bit better. They've got underfloor heating, Audi underfloor heating. That's the kind of main thing I took away from reading the specs. But that's like 37,775. So the Elegance is 37,795. Now, for me, that's getting quite near the price of the Lusso, the Coachman Lusso. If I had that kind of money burning a hole in my pocket, I would seriously look at the Lusso, because that looks like, to me anyway, looking at the videos, I'm seeing one in real life, but it looks like a much more upmarket caravan than the Elegance, possibly. You may think different, of course. So that 37,795, I said it, doesn't come with E&P leveling. That's an additional extra. The reason for me making this vlog is that when I heard that Swift had brought out obviously they bring out caravans every year, but I was a bit concerned that they would have put things on the Challenger, which is generally what happens. They improve the spec year on year. But so am I glad I didn't buy the 2022 one? Yes, I am. I am glad. I'm glad we stuck with the 2021 because it really has got everything we want, which is great. Now, if I was in a position where I'd ordered a 2022 caravan on the basis of the 2021 spec, thinking that it would be better, but then, so we're all different, right? So you might think the 2022 one is better. You might not care about the command. So you might be happy with the 2022 version, and that's absolutely fine. Also, with the increased price, it still doesn't include ATC, which, you know, they've increased it by 18. Now I know, I see people are going to say parts and things are more expensive. I think what it actually is that manufacturers at the moment, it's very much a seller's market with caravans, like we've seen with the COVID caravan and stuff, and people are taking up caravaning more apparently. So I think the dealers have just thought, you know what, this is like a gravy train has come. And it was only probably just before COVID, it was a few months before COVID, I think Swift were making redundancies. So that says to me that sales weren't particularly buoyant before COVID, and they've just lucked out. Like I say, I've got no allegiances to any manufacturer. I just see as I say it. Say as I see it. Wow, can you believe I filled up a memory card? So the whole point of the vlog was that I'd bought a 2021 Challenger. Although initially we wanted the Conqueror, I was a little bit gutted when I saw that Swift had brought the Conqueror back. However, they don't do it in a twin axle, so it really wouldn't suit us. However, also the price is for 33,000, which the Elegance was 32,000 maybe last year. I know it's 8 foot wide, but wow! So we don't at all regret buying this one. I'm interested in your thoughts. Other manufacturers, as I said, are maybe doing this sort of thing. It's the world we live in at the moment. It's absolutely gone bonkers, hasn't it? I think this week there's a shortage of petrol, so I better get myself down to the petrol station. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
It's alright. It's Caravan Vlog.
This is quality caravan vlogging.